Do you think that there was maybe one particular or more prominent obstacle or thing that prevented you from getting to kind of where you are or where you wanted to be sooner than you did?
Myself. I mean, yeah, probably. Me, but also I think, there was a lot of undiagnosed mental health issues that were happening, and I didn't know that they were there. And until like I finally got diagnosed with ADD this year. I finally went on like antidepressants last year. It wasn't until 2015 that I finally got diagnosed with complex PTSD. Like all of these things finally happened. And it wasn't until I actually started working on all of that stuff and like actually having language and knowledge that like, oh, this stuff is this stuff is a thing that is happening in my body and like in my brain. And I didn't have that before. And because I didn't have that knowledge or understanding or language or any of it, I was just sort of, I don't want to say volatile, but I was just sort of an angry person who kind of would explode at other people and kind of just take out how I was feeling on others. And I didn't know how to communicate properly with other people. And I think now I'm a self-actualized person who knows how to sort of communicate my needs and my wants, and I know how to like have better boundaries with people, and I know how to hold space for other people, and I think that's huge. And I think that helped me be in relation to other people in a much healthier way, which is good professionally, but it's also good like personally, because I can be better friends with other people, but I can also show up in a way, in a working relationship way. So, for example, if people are trying to be like super weird and like high school and toxic in a work setting, I'm like, I just don't want to engage like that. Like, I just want to show up here and work, and I don't know what this is about. So like, you do you, but like, I'm going to be over here just putting my spreadsheets together. Have at it. So I'm not really interested in like politicking anymore, if that makes sense.
I was gonna make a joke, be like, "Are you me?" Like it sounds like our 30s were pretty similar in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. So
Yeah.
that's always like relieving and encouraging when I hear that, because I I am a late bloomer in several senses, and so like to find people my age who like are kind of just learning some of the same stuff now as I am, it's like, oh, I guess maybe I'm not so like, bad off, and that like, because my social development was really delayed and stuff. And yeah, so that's kind of helpful and encouraging for me, and I'm sure some of my audience as well. So I like to ask my guests, what was the last act of self-care you did for yourself, no matter how small it was?
For the last 2 years, we just moved. My partner and I, we just moved into our apartment 2 years ago, and I've had a really hard time. On the outside, it looks like I have my shit together, which like kind of, but not really. And I think when you have ADD, there's this like thing where you have to have things in kind of like piles, and like it makes sense to you, but it doesn't really make sense to anyone else. So when I started on my ADD meds, it's been about a month or so now, I think, or just over a month. I wanted to sort of like get rid of my piles, and that was a huge thing for me. Anyways, I ended up organizing all of my drag wigs and all of my makeup and all of that stuff, and it like was crying because I was just like, it's taken me like 2 years to do this. And it seems so small. It doesn't seem like a big thing. But to me, it was huge because it was like, it's taken me so long to do this. And I get that, like, for others who are just like, yeah, I go about my day living normally. But for me, who like, it just felt like the biggest mountain that I would have to climb to try and like sort through all of this to just finally do it. I was like, I can't believe I actually did it. And then I was just looking at all of this organization and I was like, wow, I'm so proud of me. And it felt so good. And I realized that feels like work. It feels like not self-care, quote unquote. That's supposed to be like a nice thing that you do for yourself. But I just kept looking at it and being like, I did that for me and it felt good. So, yeah.
I relate to that so much. I've become so much more like versed in the kind of concept of like executive function or executive dysfunction and like that idea of like organized messy and like, yeah, exactly, like anyone else looks at my living space and they'll just be like, how do you function? And I'll just be like, if it wasn't like this, I wouldn't function. That is the point.
Yes, 100%.
So
yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you understand.